We are live. What's going on, lunch breakers and takers? This is another episode of the Lunch Break Hot Take. I am Jose,
And this is Bradney.
and we're doing it live. We just finished watching UFC 254, Fight Island, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje, and Khabib finishes with an undefeated career as he retires after he choked out Justin Gaethje with a triangle chokehold. And yeah, that's not much surprise for me. Pretty dominant win.
Yeah, Gaethje, I mean, he's a talented guy, very, very violent guy,
Yeah.
always going for that highlight knockout. But, I mean, up until the Ferguson fight, I never even considered him as somebody who would be, a championship quality fighter. So, yeah, not surprised here. End of the first round, Khabib took him down. And, I mean, if there had been another 30 seconds in that round, the fight would have been over right then. Gaethje had no defense on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised though. Look, I understand Gaethje's strategy, right? Like you got to, he wanted to start fast and really just kind of overwhelm him, and he did hurt Khabib with a couple of his hits, right? It's just that Khabib is just really tough, and his corner tried to tell him, "Look, you need to slow down, right? We love the intensity, and you landed some nice clean shots until the end where he took you down, but slow down the pace a little bit. You're going to gas yourself." And yes, you and I saw at the end of the round when he took him down. I mean, he was going to get it was only a matter of time before Khabib got him back down on the ground again. And as soon as he took him down, there was literally nothing he could do. He did the same exact move on him in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the first, I said the next time he takes him down, the fight's over. Like he had nothing for him. And even on the feet, he was throwing a bit, but you could tell he was scared of that takedown. So
yeah,
I mean,
he did hurt Khabib, especially with those leg kicks, because even on the takedown that ended the fight, he hit Khabib with a really nice leg kick, and Khabib stumbled into the takedown, but Khabib was just
I think he hit him a couple times, a couple good shots. I think that's why he went for the takedown at that point.
Yeah,
but I mean, he was, I don't want to say playing with him, but I mean, he was just kind of testing himself on the feet before he decided to end it on the ground.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I think because Khabib was so well rounded, right? He figured he can stand in there with Gaethje. But yeah, as soon as Gaethje started hurting him a little bit, he said, "Okay, that's enough of that. Let's just go down to the ground and I'll put you out." Right.
Yeah, and then as you said after the fight, he gave his little speech. He was very emotional. Left his gloves in the ring, said he's retiring. We'll see. I don't ever believe fighters when they say they're retiring. I mean, maybe he stays away, but if I had to bet, I would say he'll be back.
I feel a little differently about Khabib. I think he's done. Right, he's dominated everybody. 29-0. That's never happened before, right? Nobody's finished 29-0 before.
Not that I know of. No.
Yeah, and we've had conversations about this offline. There are some of these fighters that are at the point in their career where we understand as fighters, especially in UFC, it's hard to walk away. But there's some of these guys where they very well could just walk away and not come back. We mentioned John Jones, Khabib, DC just retired. There's a lot of these fighters that are at the point where it's like, I've done everything. There's literally nothing more I can add to my resume to make it look any better. And I think Khabib was at that point.
Yeah, I mean, look, he has a few really, really, really good wins, but like everybody else in the UFC, he's got a lot of wins over people who are kind of just guys. I mean, he's 13-0 in the UFC. I mean, personally, they're talking about he's the best pound for pound, number one, maybe best ever, and I don't think so. But
I don't think so either. But he has. I mean, he can make an argument for it.
Yeah, no, he can. But you walk away right now, you could move up to welterweight and try Usman. Try some of the fighters there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's tough to say he's done everything he can when he hadn't even fought Ferguson. They scheduled that fight 3 or 4 times and it never came off.
I don't think you get anything more from fighting Ferguson. Yes, he could move up to welterweight. I don't think he's a type. Not everybody could move up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you can say he can move, doesn't mean that's necessarily the right move for him. Not everybody
Well, no,
can add weight and be this.
I'm not saying he can for sure, but hey, they said that he thinks he can move up. But you know, I that's why I look at it and I say I think he'll be back because he's obviously very emotional right now, having just lost his father, and
Yeah,
this is his
yeah,
first fight without his father. And you see this a lot with athletes, you know, and especially athletes who were very close, or you know, their fathers were big parts of their careers,
yeah.
you know. And you know, the same thing with Michael Jordan. You know, he lost his father, and he said, "I'm going to go play baseball like my dad wanted me to." You
That's
know,
true. That's true.
and I think at some time away, I think he'll come back.
Real quick, Galaxy fan on Sportscaster, thank you for sending us some popcorn. Okay, appreciate that. Everybody that's on the live stream right now, thank you for joining the live stream. Make sure you give us a follow. Follow us on Sportscaster. Subscribe to us on YouTube. All that good stuff. If you like podcasts, listen to our podcast. We'll probably convert this into a podcast when we're done. So if you just want to listen to something on your ride, check out Lunch Break Hot Take. Okay, we cover combat sports, NFL, NBA, all that good stuff.
So assuming Khabib is done, like he's actually retiring, not coming back, that leaves the lightweight division without a champion, right?
Yeah.
You heard the Anik talking to Gaethje saying, "Hey, your next fight is probably going to be for a title."
Probably will.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be him versus the winner of McGregor and Poirier. And you know, Khabib, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not a great fighter or anything. I just don't think he's the best pound for pound ever, right?
Yeah, I don't think so
But
either.
yeah, but you've lost that guy. You lost one of your greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
So you better get on and make sure you stay on Connor's good side at this point.
Well,
UFC, you can't hemorrhage stars like that.
Well, we were talking about, you know, fighters that could retire soon. That's kind of the conversation that we were having, right? What's Dana gonna do here? I mean, he's having a hot year in 2020. I mean, a lot of that's just because, you know, he was one of the few sports that were going at the time. But you have John Jones, maybe one or two fights before he hangs it up. Conor can't hang it up at any time. He's made more than enough money he could have possibly imagined. Yeah. So really, it's just, you know, he fights at his own leisure, right? Pretty soon, Amanda Nunes could hang it up. I mean, that's another person. I mean, men or women, I consider her one of the best fighters ever. She's dominated everybody. Who is there left for her to fight?
Nobody.
Right. So, I mean, she could be gone. You know, Khabib just retired. DC just retired. So, I mean,
as hot as should be gone soon.
Miocic could be gone soon too. So, as hot as UFC is looking right now, I mean, a lot of your stars could be gone in the next like 2 years.
Right. And you have to question, like, how are you going to hold Conor's interest if he doesn't have a shot at fighting Khabib again? You know, he's already beat Poirier, who is getting ready to fight again. And then after that, you know, I guess maybe, you know, like I said, the Gaethje fight for the title, and then what? Right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe Tony Ferguson.
I mean, we were probably looking at Adesanya and Whitaker rematch, right? Whitaker looked really good tonight.
Well, yeah, we didn't talk about that when that was the co-main event, Whitaker and Cannonier. Yeah, Whitaker looked good, nearly knocked Cannonier out in the third. You know, he got rocked himself before the end of the fight, but, you know, he held on. I think he won all 3 rounds, but he won 29-28 on all 3 cards. And so, yeah, that brings up the question for Adesanya. He had said after his fight against Costa that he would fight Cannonier, right?
Yeah.
Because he already knocked out Whitaker, you know, 2nd round knockout. He beat Yoel Romero. He beat a lot of the top guys at middleweight, right? So he said, yeah, I'd give Cannonier a shot if he dominates Whitaker, which obviously didn't happen.
Right.
So at this point, you know, you got to ask what's next. Yeah, a rematch with Whitaker, I guess, would be possible, but I don't know if that's of interest to Adesanya. I know that he's been talking a whole lot about John Jones.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to make that happen, if you're serious about that, move up, fight Blachowicz, take that title, and call John Jones out.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, there's nothing left for him at middleweight. He dominated everybody, and even though Whitaker has earned a rematch, I guess you could say. I mean, he's fought well his last 3 fights, right? 2 or 3 fights. But Adesanya already beat you, man. Like, and if he's not interested in that fight, I understand. If he wants to give you a rematch, I understand that too. I think the second time around will be a bigger fight, right? But yeah, move up, take that challenge. I'm sure he won Cannonier because Cannonier was a hot name. He knocking people out. He was like another Costa type of fighter. But Whitaker did to him what Adesanya was hoping to do to him first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this has always been one of my things with UFC. I don't like the way they produce their shows. Basically,
Yeah.
You got DC on there talking about Khabib. He's like, man, he's dominated like nobody we've ever seen. He's 28-0. You've never seen anything like it. And then and they asked him about Gaethje. He's like, oh man, he's dominated like nobody we've ever seen
it before.
and then also then you turn around. We're talking about Israel Adesanya. Adesanya's 20-0. So like. You just got to stop. You got to stop. Everything is over the top. Everything's the greatest fight in UFC history. Yeah, it just bugs me. Like, it's not a big deal, but it just bugs me.
It's annoying. I get it. Yeah, it's definitely annoying. But look, I mean, boxing does it too. Everybody
not like that. Like they're starting to get like that now that that networks are signing their own fighters and it's just kind of it's being carved up. Like ESPN is with Top Rank, so Lomachenko's the greatest thing we've ever seen.
Right?
But no, it's just irritating. But I think that Adesanya, I'd like to see him move up and fight Blachowicz. That guy, he's real big, real strong. He's a killer.
Yeah.
And I mean, personally, I think that Adesanya will be able to avoid those punches and get the win. But I'd like to see it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And at that point, he wins that fight. He's a champion. John Jones will come back down to fight him. John Jones is only going up to heavyweight for one fight. All right.
Well, yeah, and if they even give him that fight, they're talking about Ngannou getting a shot at Miocic before they let John Jones fight.
Yeah.
So move up, get that belt, and give us the Adesanya and Jones fight before he gets a chance to move up.
Yeah. The other fight I want to mention was Walt Harris against, I can't remember the other guy's name. They called him Drago was his nickname. But I was rooting for Walt Harris. He had a tough 2019. His daughter passed away, and his the fight that he took not too long after his daughter passed away, he fought Dos Santos, I want to say. Was it Dos Santos?
I don't know. I didn't see that one. I didn't get a chance to see it.
I think it was Dos Santos. I could be getting it wrong, but he had he fought well. Came up short, but he came into this fight in better shape. He lost 30 pounds, and you could tell he was a lot more cut up, and he started at a good pace, and just Drago was had a long reach advantage, long legs, long limbs, and he caught him with a kick straight into the solar plexus and knocked the wind out of him, and that was pretty much it for him.
Okay.
So
Alexander Volkov.
Yeah. So I don't know where he goes from here. I mean, he's a quality fighter, right? I think there's some things that he still needs to work on. He's got power for sure, but power isn't everything, especially against guys like that can neutralize it with just a straight jab, the kicks to keep you off of them. So he mentioned something about having more of a ground game than people realize. He needs to start working on that.
Yeah, there's several places you can go in the heavyweight division. Obviously Ngannou is going to be looking for a title shot, but you got Curtis Blades, Rosenstruck, Derek Lewis. Dos Santos is still out there. I mean, I don't know if he shaved off his witness protection mustache yet. I don't know if he's ready to go again. But yeah, I mean, there's a nice mix of kind of two or second and third tier fighters in the heavyweight division. They can keep, fighting each other and keep it entertaining.
Yeah.
I think there's really only one top tier fighter in that division, though.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Miocic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much it. There were 2 other or 3 other fights on the card. I mean, it was a pretty entertaining card. But those are the main fights that.
Yeah, Phil Hawes started his UFC career with
a knockout.
an 18-second knockout, second fastest debut knockout in UFC history. So congrats to him.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. The big takeaways here obviously could be retiring, opening up the lightweight division, and Robert Whittaker, making his claim for another shot at Stylebender.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing. Look, Adesanya can he has options, right? And no matter what he chooses, I'm going to be there to watch. But Whittaker is an awesome fighter, man. Like that's the thing. That's what makes Adesanya so interesting, is that Whittaker is a very good fighter, very good fighter. And to see Adesanya just break him down the way he did is just, I mean, against a fighter like that, like he's not one of those guys that rushes in and just, like he's a very smart fighter, and he's quick, and he's got everything. Whittaker's got everything. He was an excellent champion, but Adesanya was just a level above. So this, did he learn something from that fight? Fighters like Whittaker, they can learn from losses. So let's see what kind of adjustments he can make in the second fight if that happens, and see if we make it more interesting. I still don't think he wins, but I think it can be a more interesting fight.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he would win a second fight. And if I'm Adesanya, he's already on the wrong side of 30. I'm at that point. He's 20-0. He's the champion. He's beat everybody in that division. I'm moving up and taking nothing but mega fights. I'm gonna go fight Jan. I'm gonna try and fight John Jones. I'm not giving out. I'm not handing out rematches to guys I've already knocked out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's going to be one of the things that Dana White hates. That's where they're going to butt heads, right? Because I mean, that's what happens with Dana White all the time with his star fighters. They want to control, the narrative. They want to say, hey, look, this is who we want to fight. And understandably, right? Because I just don't think as a whole UFC does a great job promoting their fighters. Yes, you've had a couple of mega stars, right? You had, 3, Rousey, Connor, and you could say Masvidal, right? But Masvidal, he's blown up. But other than that, and other than Rousey, I would say the other 2 did it on their own. I don't think UFC really helped them out.
Right.
So fighters want to control their own careers, control their own destiny, so they can market themselves the way they feel is best for them. And Adesanya is not going to be any different. He's a flashy fighter, right? He wants to be known like everybody else, because honestly, like out of those names that we named, he's a better fighter than all of them, right? Skill wise, he's a better fighter. So of course he wants to start him. Why wouldn't he?
Right.
So pretty quick. I'm not sure what the next what they said what the next pay-per-view was. I can't remember.
I don't know the next pay-per-view. I know they have another event next week, but I'm not sure what their next pay-per-view is.
I can't. I remember it. I can't remember the guy's name. It was the one that knocked out the Takashi dude.
Hang on, we got Uriah Hall and Anderson Silva next week.
That's next week. Yeah, that's not a pay-per-view though.
No, it's not. The next pay-per-view is Davison Fergus, Figueiredo, and Alex Perez.
Yeah.
And that is going to be November 21st. So about a month out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna pay for it. But,
I don't think we'll need to be doing a stream about that one. But
yeah, you won't be hearing from us about that one unless something big happens.
We'll be back next week. Sometime next week, not right after the fight, but with the Inoue and is it Malloy?
Yeah,
not Maloney.
Maloney. I'm sorry, Maloney. Inoue and Maloney, and then Javante. Javante is fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. It's the same night, right? I think it's the same night.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's going to be a boxing podcast next week. We have a lot to talk about, and I've been teasing it for like weeks that I wanted to talk about the Canelo and Golden Boy beef. Right, for those that don't know, Canelo Alvarez is suing Golden Boy Promotions for the issue that they're having with the zone, just getting the right fight set up and getting paid what he was promised. So.
Well, luckily for us, that's not going away anytime soon. So we can talk about that whenever.
Yeah, no, we have time. Yeah, I'm curious to see how long this thing is going to take, right? Like, does Canelo want to stay sidelined while they get this whole thing wrapped up, or does he just say, okay, just, give me something fair? I know the zone reached out to them already and said, okay, let's rework the deal a little bit. So you're still getting a lot of money. Plus, you get some points based off of performance of the pay-per-view, but it's the base money that he's supposed to be getting for a fight, I think it's like 15 million less than what he was supposed to be making. So I don't know. But yeah, we'll dive into that. And yeah, this is gonna be a pretty quick one. We just wanted to get on here and talk about it. Congrats to Khabib. If this is his last fight, one of the best careers ever, 29-0, and he dominated everybody, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I still would have liked to have seen Khabib and Conor have a rematch.
Me too.
I think that Conor. I don't think Conor was in the right headspace for that. A couple years laid off, and I mean, he seemed to be kind of not fully invested at that point.
Right.
I mean, you got him in the middle of the fight telling Khabib, "Hey, it's just business."
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you take a fight with Mayweather and you make more money than you could have possibly have imagined, right?
Yeah.
Your will to fight, it drops a little bit. Money does change you. Like,
yeah,
you might still think you still have it, but there's a part of you that feels, man, I'm financially secure. I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah, you're not hungry anymore when you're eating steak every night and starting up your own whiskey brand.
Yeah, right? And the thing is, the beef that those two had, it was real on Khabib's side. It was manufactured on Conor side. Conor doesn't really care about Khabib, right? He does all that stuff. He flew from Ireland to where he was and broke the window on the bus, to act like he's mad because he knows the cameras are rolling and he's trying to promote a fight. He's trying to get that fight going. Like, he's a promoter.
And then he injured a couple of Khabib's friends, and Khabib got really angry.
He got really upset.
Beat him down.
Yeah, and this is real for it's real for Khabib, and in Conor's mind, he's just he said it during the fight. Look, man, it's just business. Like, he really didn't care about it, But to be honest, I'm sure he doesn't care now, right? He's getting ready to fight.
I feel like he probably does. I think he's back into the UFC mode right now.
I don't think he is. He's talking about fighting Pacquiao.
He's talking about fighting Pacquiao, but he's fighting in the UFC in January. He's back into it. At that point, like I said, it had been a couple of years since he fought in the UFC, and he hopped in with Khabib. I'm sure he knew he was going to lose that fight.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Khabib comes back. I have a feeling he won't. I feel like he might be done. I feel like he might be done.
I'm gonna say 1.5 to 2 years. You'll hear he's ready to come back.
2 years. Wow.
Yeah. A year and a half to 2 years. I think he'll be ready.
I'm not making this prediction. I'm just gonna float it out there. What if he's gone a year, 2 years, gets out of his UFC contract, goes to Bellator? Isn't that where his brother's fighting now, or is his cousin?
His cousin signed with Bellator. Yeah.
I'm just floating it out there. Just letting you know. Yeah. He could be in Bellator. That would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
That would be huge. Bellator keeps hanging around, man. Like, I understand. We don't ever talk Bellator on our podcast or anything like that, but they're out there.
Yeah, they're around.
Yeah, they're around.
They don't have the fighters, so But that's like they say, they're changing up their strategy, trying to sign young prospects as opposed to fading stars. So
if they start doing that, we'll start talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
But look, they've been around for a while, so you can't count them out. They could absolutely do that, right? UFC has a better product, but me and B aren't fans of Dana White. I don't think he does a particularly great job of running UFC. Like, I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. I mean, obviously they're making money and they've got a huge deal with ESPN, so he's doing something right. But there's just a lot of things that he's doing that I feel like he's not doing right. He could do a lot more to make this sport bigger.
Yeah, they don't nurture their talent.
Right. Right. And just, I think UFC fans, because I've seen some comments on Twitter about how boxing's a dying sport, UFC is taken over, and that's blowing up. I think we're gonna find out the next few months and going into 2021 that boxing is still king.
Yeah,
right? Boxing took time off. Right, they're being safe with the coronavirus. The pandemic that's hitting, because really nobody should be doing anything right now still. Mm-hmm. But they want to take the time to come back from this, and it's starting to ramp up. You saw a really good fight last week with Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. We got 2 good fights coming up next weekend, and there's just more fights.
Yeah, and you're talking about Lomachenko and Inoue. Those are 2 of people's top 5 pound for pound fighters, both fighting for free on ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
so
they're getting
there's been
back into it.
Yeah, it's been quiet, and part of that is also because there's been some trouble in matchmaking, right? Like Canelo, like you said, he's having problems with his promoter. Bud Crawford and Errol Spence can't get that signed.
Yeah,
that they're still trying to work that out.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we see Lomachenko and Teofimo, Inoue and Maloney next week, and these are not pay-per-views. Like they're going to be grabbing people's attention.
Right. No, I agree. So we're going to find out. I think 2021 is going to be huge for boxing. You're going to see. I mean, we still haven't seen Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury Part 2 yet. That's going to be.
Yeah. Well, Fury's talking about wanting to fight December 5th. Doesn't know who he's going to fight.
Right.
But he wants to fight December 5th. So we'll see.
So so you still have that rematch. You still have Anthony Joshua. Maybe one day he'll fight one of those guys. Yeah. So you have 2 big heavyweight bouts still to come.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you're just going to see a lot of big matches in 2021. I mean, Lopez is talking about fighting Devin Haney. Mm-hmm. And eventually Tank Davis is going to have to fight somebody too. Right. Yeah. He's got to step up and put his big boy pants on and fight.
And same with Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, Virgil Ortiz. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of young, upcoming, super talented fighters who are about to come into their own in boxing.
Yep. So, all right, we can end the stream here. And like I said, if you watch this live stream, thanks for watching. Make sure you give us a follow on Sportscaster. I see somebody gave us a follow here. Who was that? Bang the Drummond. Thanks for following. Appreciate the love. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube if you're on YouTube, or you listen to podcasts, Lunch Break Hot Take. Okay. Google us. We'll come right up. All right. We also have a website. We do a bunch of articles on, videos, anything you can think of. However you consume media, that's, we're there. All right, B. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.